look at like a blood test or something like that, you'll see high cholesterol. And sometimes people think, well, that's not good or bad. Or is that good or is that bad? I don't know. You have to look at the blood work when you look at the triglycerides in the blood. So let's say, for example, if your cholesterol is 220 and your triglycerides are 220, is that good? No, that's pretty high. That means you're eating too much stuff that's being converted into carbohydrate. So sometimes you have to remember where cortisol comes from cholesterol. Cholesterol is a precursor to cortisol, which is made in your liver. So what we're going to do is I'm not going to give you a history how cortisol is converted to another hormone, because it's a sex hormone is what it is. Sometimes when people are on cholesterol medication, this is a problem. When they're on high doses of statin drugs, their sex drive goes out the window because you're not producing these sex hormones anymore because the cholesterol is blocked. So it not necessarily is bad. You got to make sure why it's high. And the reason why a lot of people want cholesterol is high because their cortisol is high. So in other words, here's everyday situation. When people are under a lot of stress, your adrenal glands or your stress glands, stress hormones, they elevate because you're under long stress. Well, the cortisol, there's a need for cortisol. So if the need for cortisol goes up, where does it come from? The cholesterol. So the cholesterol production from the liver has to come up and it's converted into cortisol. That's how this whole thing works. So it's kind of important to know why we're doing this. So the thing about stress is it going to go away? No, it's here to stay. It's not going to go away. So you can run away from it, live someplace in Montana in a cave, or you can adapt to the stress. Right, yeah. So the problem with, what's one bad, there's a couple of bad things about cortisol. One thing is it causes leaching of calcium through the urine. That's, yeah. But you know, most people don't really care about that per se. What do most people care about? What's the bad thing about cortisol, high cortisol? You get a waste accumulation of fat. That's a bad side. More people are concerned about that than loss of calcium in the urine, you know. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to show you how to get rid of this this cortisol in the system. The first thing you have to make sure is your adrenal glands and your liver are working right. Because if that's not working right, then nothing's going to work. And you know, I didn't ask you, Helen. You've been doing this for how many? 2.5 years? Yeah. And tell maybe the audience how do you like it? Does it work pretty good?
Yeah, I think so. Even though the stress level is the same, I can think clearly. And then
you do it every morning, right?
Yeah, I do it every morning. In addition to adjusting my ileocecal valve, because those are the two main things focus for me. But I just feel calmer, you know, and I'm able to problem solve better too.
That's a biggie.
And also, I don't feel the tightness in my stomach like I used to.
Sure.
Yeah.
By the way, I paid her to say that. No, this is a good thing. That's why I'm repeating this, because when I was doing these classes, I've been asked to do a repeat on one of the classes, and you asked me to do that, and I think we've had other people talk about other classes, so we're going to do this one here. And Arthur, you asked me to do the light thing for the fixation thing. So here's what we're going to do. It's very simple. First, there's kind of like two steps to this whole thing. First, you have to make sure that your adrenal glands and your liver are working right. And you have in your handout a chart of where the adrenal gland reflexes are and the liver reflexes are. Now, these are called Chapman's reflexes.